Hello, dear friends. We are so used to bad news that we can't believe the good news. Opinion piece. Peace breaks out. New system. Age of wisdom. Wave of energy. Isolation of evil. The coming separation. Decline of the old God. Fifth generation warfare. Changing world situation. The world moves forward. Breakthrough is imminent. New agreements and alliances. Dismantling the old world order. Declassification through diplomacy. Let's start. Peace is breaking out all over the world, and it's no coincidence. It's the outcome of decades of war from the dark side, region by region. What we are witnessing is bloodless fifth generation warfare in full swing. The use of diplomacy, optics and psychological strategy to isolate and collapse the war machine without a single shot being fired. New alliances are dismantling networks of corruption and ending the dominance of centralized banking and perpetual conflict in the Middle East. These agreements are described as a white hat strategy to dismantle the old world order and establish a new financial and political system. Humankind is moving toward unity, sovereignty, and a new era of peace and abundance, according to Ismile Perth. The world is on the verge of the greatest revelation in human history, and the long-hidden truths about humanity and its origins are about to be revealed. These events are part of a global awakening and the collapse of traditional control systems. Perez links these geopolitical shifts to a broader spiritual and cosmic awakening, suggesting that humankind is on the verge of discovering hidden knowledge, advanced technologies, hidden history, and even extraterrestrial contact. He defines the current era as a quantum shift in human consciousness, while the old paradigms of division and control will give way to unity and abundance. A central aspect of the debate is the introduction of the quantum financial system, described as a secure, transparent, and decentralized digital framework that seeks to replace the traditional banking system. It is presented as a revolutionary alternative to the current global financial infrastructure, intended to empower citizens and nations. The QFS is claimed to be asset-backed and designed to restore the economic sovereignty of nations and individuals. Geopolitics. Isolation from evil. Every old point of conflict is being sealed, one by one. The nations they used as pawns are leaving. The world chooses peace, and the cabal stands alone. This is not just diplomacy. It is a psychological operation against global tyranny. No boots, no bombs, only truth, opportunity, and precision. The Great Awakening is global, and the storm is already here. President Trump's recent diplomatic effort in the Middle East is part of a coordinated strategy to create a new Eastern Bloc, overthrow the old God, and introduce a new financial system. These alliances are paving the way for the official recognition of a sovereign Palestinian state, which will be a historic shift in power dynamics to bring peace and economic liberation to the region. According to Benjamin Fulford, the high-level meeting between China and the US on economic and trade issues reached a number of important consensuses. The agreement reached involved the cancellation of all debt after the US corporation declares bankruptcy and is replaced by the Republic of North America. The Chinese are also willing to help finance a massive reconstruction of infrastructure and manufacturing. It seems that President Trump also had time to prevent India and Pakistan from starting a nuclear war. They agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire. Now Trump says he will substantially increase trade with India and Pakistan and will work with both countries to resolve the Kashmir conflict. Overall, it is clear that the situation has changed, but it is not over yet. Pacification. The dark side is running out of battlefields. On May 10, 2025, President Putin called for direct peace negotiations with Ukraine, proposing a May 15th meeting in Istanbul, with no preconditions, only a ceasefire and real talks. Zelensky responded positively for the first time, and both sides signaled a way forward. Then the dark side of the European Union panicked when they issued a 36-hour ultimatum to Putin. Either he accepted their terms or he would face massive sanctions and another wave of lethal weapons. But this wasn't diplomacy, it was desperation. They believed that peace was being formed without them and rushed to manipulate the outcome, attempting to position themselves as brokers of an agreement they did not create. They no longer have global control. While Europe was reeling, President Trump toured the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Qatar and the Emirates. A discreet but momentous mission. This is the activation of the Abraham Accords Agreements 2.0. New alliances and the smooth unraveling of the deep-rooted hostility in the region by a wave of cosmic light. And yet Israel threatens unilateral retaliation if Palestine is recognized because it refuses peace. The dark side no longer controls the Middle East narrative. The Abraham Agreements 2.0 are a second phase of the original Abraham Accords signed in 2020 between Israel and several Arab countries. These agreements entailed the normalization of diplomatic, trade and security relations, setting aside the historical requirement to first resolve the Palestinian issue. Iran is willing to abandon its nuclear weapons program in exchange for the lifting of economic sanctions. The Trump wants war with Iran, in quotes, narrative is about to burst into flames, and it could be bringing peace to the Middle East. India and Pakistan also agreed to an immediate ceasefire, ending weeks of rising tensions over Kashmir. It was a warning shot to the Chinese CCP, which has long used South Asia as a tool of destabilization. President Trump expressed his gratitude to the leaders of both nations, promised increased trade and teased future peace talks on long-standing issues like Kashmir. With this action, he cut off one of the CCP's favorite safety valves. And now, Africa is experiencing a quiet, if little-known, revolution. Western-backed puppet regimes are falling. Mass protests, military reshuffles, and the wave of sovereignty-first governments are on the rise. In 2024 alone, 8 countries expelled Western military bases or overthrew puppet leaders linked to the former colonial powers and dark-side money laundering operations. Africa is aligning itself with sovereign trade, not aid. President Trump doesn't need to set foot there, because the model is already working. This is the last frontier the dark side hoped to control through destabilization and the manipulation of NGOs. That control is rapidly crumbling. Rising frequency. An unexpected event has occurred according to Sheila Wilder. The frequency has expanded significantly, which came as a complete surprise to everyone. These are unexpected waves of energy from the sun, which produced solar storms on May 13th and 14th. These eruptions mark the first significant solar activity since March. This event is notable not only for its intensity, but also for the implications it holds for the energetic landscape of the planet and its inhabitants during these intense and precious moments. This development heralds what appears to be the beginning of a massive wave of frequencies. As this energy begins to permeate your environment, it will influence your emotional, mental, and spiritual states. The changes that accompany these frequencies can lead to heightened awareness and deeper connection with the universe around you, preparing you for the transformative journey that awaits you. Our solar system has entered the region of space with a galactic anomaly that greatly affects third density space. Back in 2014, scientists confirmed that our solar system is in a large interstellar cloud called the Local Cloud, which is about 30 light years across and bound by a large magnetic field. Our solar system's movement into the photon belt does not portend physical destruction, but rather an acceleration of consciousness. Those who are emotionally and mentally prepared will be able to ride the next galactic waves and manifest a new reality, the kingdom of heaven on earth. Those who are not prepared will experience more stress and confusion in their lives. However, the Cabal has been given a deadline to prepare and relinquish power without the global financial system collapsing. Imminent break. According to Steve Biko, the empire of the dark side is crumbling and the light is shining. The economy is in crisis. The collapse of the central bankers and is in a downward spiral of fiat currency revaluation. The breakthrough is imminent. It must happen without violence, either through the awakening of the people or the collapse of the cabal's monetary system. The collapse is imminent because the banks are losing trillions every night. Not even excessive buyback operations can keep them afloat. The collapse will be short and sharp before the QFS gold-backed monetary system comes into effect. Even the EU is destined to disappear. Every country will reclaim its original currency. A new era based on the economy of humankind is approaching, which will completely destroy the economy of central banks. Natural separation by Sophia Love. What we are seeing now is a great sorting. This will require our participation because we are here not only to assist with the founding of the new Earth, but also for its fertilization and direction. However, this is not division in the sense of the separation. This division is similar to the mitosis of a cell, necessary for multiplication, growth, and expansion. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.